much dreamed that I'd adore. We've been friends for just as long, from birthday songs and mowing lawns to camping trips that went so wrong. You know me so transparently, I kept your secrets, you my therapy. I've told you almost everything, but one small fact I've kept missing. I was hoping you would ask, I was wishing you would tell. I was too afraid myself of being the only one who fell. Always said what's on my mind, never once from in my heart. We could chat throughout the night, but one note I'd never start. I was always honest though, would've opened up my soul, but you never asked to know. Almost spoke, but now I'll go. Now you found someone to cherish you.
Good morning. Welcome to Melzworld Live. I'm Ramel Otis, and today is Thursday, March 20th, 2025. And it has been quite a week. I have been very diligent this week about applying to jobs, only to discover that a percentage of them have been tremendous scams. It's been pretty wild, but we'll dive into that. I hope everybody had a good Wednesday and happy Thursday. And I'm just pulling out the goo from my eyes. But yeah, last night was improv. Today is my last 2 hours of community service before my deadline on the 24th, which is coming up. What is today? The 20th, which is, yeah, the 24th is a Monday. Wow. I'll need to be at court on Monday to submit this information. Hopefully, it'll be timely, or I'll just do it Friday morning. Yeah, okay. So let's dive right in. Let's do updates. Yeah, let's talk about the freezer. Tech came in yesterday. Somehow, for some reason, all of Eastern Europe is an appliance technician. I don't know why that role falls to that particular group of people, but literally, that's what everybody does over there. And I mean it facetiously, but literally 100% of every technician we've ever received from these insurance companies are of Eastern European, and they all have their phones, and they're always talking on their phones. And it's fine, I guess. Whatever it is, they get the job done. Well, I mean, not for this particular fridge. He came in, I explained the situation. He explained to me that the previous tech, not the one from the same company, but from the prior company, who's considered their senior tech, by the way, didn't tighten the valve enough, which he explains is why there's a leak. The senior technician. This is the person that's been doing this for probably 10 or 15 years, and they just didn't tighten it well enough. That's wild to me. I don't know if it's out of spite, so that we would have them constantly coming back. I mean, why would you keep wanting to come back over unless, I don't know. What's the benefit for you to not fix it? Anyways, went to a different company. This guy came in, he said, oh, it just wasn't tightened. So it was leaking because the valve that he installed, the other guy installed, or whatever that part is, which always, I don't know what to call it, didn't tighten it enough. And then that's it. So he fixed it, left. And then it started beeping. Just beeping. Now, The fix to the beep I found online, which was unplug it for a couple minutes and plug it back in. However, I didn't want to do that because it's a giant fridge. The plug's back in the corner, and I thought, there's got to be another button you can press. So I called I called their office. I called the insurance company. All I wanted was a call back. That's it. No, nothing. So thankfully, we have someone who is a friend of the family, Roman's playdate friend, his parents. One of them is an appliance technician, and he's worked on the freezer before, and he's done fantastic work. Yeah, he was just like, unplug it for a few minutes. I mean, it's the traditional tech solution to anything that has some type of computer, and it worked. And we appreciate his candor and quickness and all those things. I mean, we were very appreciative of everything he did. I just I didn't want to do that. I just felt like, ugh. I mean, if it was easily plugged in, if it was easily accessible, it's just kind of a pain in the ass to get pulled out and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, that fixed it. Now, according to the tech yesterday, it was supposed to be last night, that it cooled down fast enough. Now, granted, the temperature went to 26 degrees last night. I put water in a bowl, and then I put ice in a bowl, and I left it in there. And I figured, if the freezer isn't as cold as it says it is, or it's colder than it says it is, at least the water will freeze and the ice will not melt. Well, there you go. So this morning, freezer's reporting 18 degrees. The ice is not melted, and the bowl of water has frozen. So the question is our thermometer in the freezer accurate? If it isn't, is it really -8 degrees in the freezer? And if it isn't, I mean, is our internal temperature broken? Our internal thermometer broken? Is our I was thinking about getting we have a little gun thermometer in the fridge, or in the garage, and that one is like a infrared. That might be our best bet, to grab that and shoot the inside of the freezer and then really see how cold it is, and whether or not that's an acceptable temperature. And I think that's the thing to ask them: is 18 degrees acceptable for a freezer? Yeah. So, you know what? I just came up with an idea. We should take the little thermometer in the freezer and put it in the other freezer. There you go. That would be the best way to indicate if that little thermometer in the freezer is accurate, or at least if that drops to 18, bada bing, bada boom, Bob's your uncle. So, all right. Anyways, that's it for the freezer. So let's move on to the other updates. Let's see here. Yeah, working out. The last workout I did was on the beach, and I wanted to die. Progressive still working on the refund. 1 volunteer hour remaining. And that is me going to Vista around 11 for the Vista Food Bank, where I will sort groceries and goods for 2 hours. And I have to wear closed-toed shoes and layered clothes because there is no temperature control in the warehouse. And I will be standing side by side with potentially other criminals and children. Apparently there's a rule that you have to be, I think, 16 or 11 if you want to volunteer. So we'll see. This food bank is constantly staffed. Constantly. Like every single day it requires volunteers. So it'll be a very interesting thing to see. Operation job. Okay. So think on Tuesday, I applied to 5 positions, 2 of which we immediately identified as scams. Uh, and then one of the other positions called a reservation specialist. They reached out to me. They gave me a Zoom link, and of course, I attended for about 10 minutes because the person on the that was doing the presentation was like, no questions. This is one way. Message me the person that referred you, and this is a great way to save money on travel. It's a great way to make a little side hustle. The pitch was very much MLM. And I was like, I was still waiting. I didn't want to pull the trigger on leaving. Sorry, that's what I meant. I didn't want to mislead you. I didn't want to pull the trigger on leaving until I could identify which pyramid scheme. Because I'm learning that people are utilizing these career softwares to mask the intent of the MLM, which really shows that they know that they're a pyramid scheme, right? They're aware, because if you could immediately identify the organization from the application page, you wouldn't apply, right? You just do a quick Google search and you'll find out the Dubrovnik group is an MLM. You'd find out that the Evolution Travel group is an MLM. So they hide it. And Dubrovnik is even more sinister because they put multiple posts as different companies. And then you have you have this travel agency. Once again, reservation specialists kind of sounds like an administrative job. You sit there and you help people get their reservations. It shouldn't require any other complications. But then once you get into the MLM, they explain that it's actually an opportunity, and the way that it works is you pay, I think, $200 for a package that gives you access to basically travel materials that are free. So sandals brochures, Disney brochures, all of these kind of travel package brochures from these companies. But then they say stuff like, oh, but you also get some travel credit. You also get access to these training manuals that'll tell you how to set up Calendly. I guarantee you, the training manuals are these PDFs that just teach you how to make a Calendly, how to post on job websites, and how to route people to these Zoom calls. And then if they sign up, you get a kickback, right? And it's in this shape where the base gets larger as it starts an arrow from the top. It's like a 3-angled shape. Like if you were to make that 3-angled shape a 3D shape, one would say it's pyramidal. Anyways, so yeah, I was disheartening, and it was really interesting. And one thing I was telling my friend yesterday was I have now applied on the highest level of employment, right? The highest level leadership, director level, management. And now I've applied at the lowest level, which is remote part-time, right? The most accessible roles that of the lower bars of entry. And what I noticed is at the top level, if you don't have exactly what they're looking for, you fall off the radar. And they never reach out to you. And on the bottom level, on the remote part-time level, that is a minefield of scam potential. It is a hive of scum and villainy. Like, it is absolutely fertile for misdirection and tricks and scams and everything. It's wild. So I will continue throughout the rest of this week for the lowest level positions, and then next week I'm gonna move up to hybrid, and then probably after that I'll move up into just part time, and that should at least, once again, I'm just doing a little bit of conceit as I move up the ladder of requests. I mean, it's not gonna hurt me to drive to somewhere and sit down in an office and do something, but it would have been nice to have something here to do at home. I feel like the lack of commute and the informality and being able to use my own workstation would have been more ideal in the situation where I can turn around afterwards and start editing or whatever. But this market is crazy. It's just wild, and it's incredibly, it can be incredibly frustrating to find something. So, improv was last night. My friend Ryan went, and we had a fantastic time. What's really interesting is a lot of improv groups are classes. You go and you get classes with the intent to perform, or it's a improv troupe that you go and you become a part of, and then you perform. The Groundlings, Second City, or Windy's, I think it's called Second City. Things that lead into things like SNL. This group was a Toastmaster group that converted into an improv group that is now just doing it for shits and giggles, right? They literally meet up and just have fun. And I think there is something pure. There's something, I don't know, selfless about it that the laughs maintain in the group. It's almost like an organized form of poker or D&D. You all commit every 2 weeks, just showing up, goofing around, and then you leave. I think, and this is just my brain, I want to get to a point where I can come up with sketches or skits, and I can utilize the talent in that room to do sketches and throw those on YouTube, right? I mean, that's really a really interesting idea, because some of those guys are great. Some of those guys have amazing potential and skill and flexibility and thought, and I think would make for great sketches. So just a thought. Anyways, so yeah, improv was great. We'll see him in 2 weeks. Okay. So I think I covered everything. Scam City, community service, improv. I'll report back. I'll report back tomorrow with whether or not how the community service turned out. But I'm hoping 2 hours on my feet, like that. I mean, 3 hours at a beach was hell. It was pretty rough. I'm hoping 2 hours in a warehouse. It's just, the worst thing is that I lift stuff. Not a big deal. Use your knees. All right. Well, that's it. That's all I got. I have to probably get my room clean because my friend's coming over tonight, and then I got to get ready for this thing at 11. So, anyways, everyone, thank you for coming. I appreciate you sharing my thoughts with me. We'll do this again tomorrow. Otherwise, have a fantastic Thursday. And we're almost at the end of the week, which I'll tell you this, doesn't matter as much when you're not employed.
Our friendship stands a
all right, this is Ramel. Thanks for coming to Melzworld Live. We'll see you tomorrow.
Monthly board games with no end. It's a bittersweet perfection when we laugh through venting sessions, 'cause the moments I adore them, but it's selfish to have more of them. Knowing now you'd never ask, knowing now I'd never tell, 'cause your happiness can last, since I'm the only one who fell. Always said what's on my mind, never once from